Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, today's by-election in Msambweni, Kwale County will likely put to test the political might of President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga on one side, against that of Deputy President Dr. William Ruto on the other. Raila has held the constituency in his grip since 2007 and is backing Omar Boga of ODM. The constituency of more than 69,000 voters is set to elect an MP following the death of Suleiman Dori 8 months ago. Uhuru's Jubilee Party did not field a candidate in respect to the spirit of the handshake, which has been perceived as a silent backing of the ODM candidate. But for DP Ruto, whose allies are backing Faisal Bader, an independent contestant, is about removing Raila's grip on the coast as he prepares for the high-stakes 2022 general election. Now, KTNU's coast-based reporter Tobias Chanji is in Msambweni and now joins us live. Tobias, good afternoon. Great to see you. How is the voting process so far? What is the voter turnout like? And I know the stakes are very, very high in this by-election. Chanji.
Yes, indeed, the stakes are very high for this Msambweni by-election. Currently, we are at the 9th polling station since morning. This is Mwaroni polling station in Ibongwe Gombato ward. Earlier on, there was some altercation between Mvita MP, Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir, and Nyali MP, that is Mohammed Ali, and also at Jomo Kenyatta voting station, where we saw some altercation also between Lunga MP, Khatibu Mashetani, and the Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho. Earlier on, we also spoke to Kwale Governor Salim Vuria, who cried foul due to the arresting of 25 agents that he says are aligned to Abdallah Faisal Bader. And the 25 appeared before senior resident magistrate Sandro Got at Kinondo Law Court, and they were released on a fine of 1,000 or to be jailed on a day. Now, from Vuria, he was reading malice, saying that although those who were arrested after the curfew hours, but he says it was biased, as some of the ODM agents were also found in the night, but they were never arrested. But some of the people that have been behind all this election, observing the current situation as it happens and unfolds, is the human rights agenda, and I'll be speaking to its director, that is Yusuf Lule, maybe to just break it down for us how the situation has been since morning 6 a.m. When the polling centers were opened.
Thank you very much, Tobias. I would wish to take it back 72 hours or the eve before the elections or polling this morning. There are a number of issues that have happened significantly. For instance, we've had redeployment of senior police officers in Msambweni sub-county. We've also spoken to the county commander of Kwale, and he's also not on duty today. So these are, I think, significant things that have happened within the county that might have an implication to the by-election that is happening. We're also aware that there are 26 party agents affiliated to the independent candidate Faisal Bader, who were actually arrested last night for flouting COVID-19 regulations, and specifically the curfew, and they were released on a fine of about 1,000. So while I think this is very important to also ensure that there's enforcement of COVID-19 regulations, but importantly there must be non-selective application of the law, so that then it doesn't appear like a specific camp or group is being targeted with the COVID-19 regulations enforcement. So that is something that we have also observed. During the polling itself, of course, the polling centers and stations were open in good time. Everything seemed okay in the morning until when we witnessed a number of political brawls within some few polling stations like Jomo Kenyatta Primary School, Jogo Grounds, and Mwaroni Primary School, where we are actually located at the moment, where we had candidates and political activists from the different camps actually engaging in physical brawls or fights. And one thing we also note with a lot of keenness is that some of the things that we're experiencing now, the physical brawls or fights that we're experiencing now, actually are drawn from the social media. So there was a lot of social media fight and conflict that has now degenerated into physical fights. Some of the individuals that have been engaging in the physical fights were actually previously engaged in, social media conflicts, which was actually ignored by the NCAC, who surprisingly are now around, also purporting to be monitoring this election.
Because I was to ask you that for the last 72 hours, as this thing was boiling, we've not seen NCIC anywhere.
Actually, we have one NCAC official around here, but in my opinion, I think they have failed because you see, election is a process. It's not a one-day event, and we have really been pushing them to be on the ground for the last couple of weeks and months, but they have not been here. We are aware that currently they are here, but there's nothing much that they can do. And it's not about NCAC only. I would also wish to establish the absence of all constitutional commissions, the major constitutional commissions, which would have played a more deterrent role in this election, this by-election, but they have never been at the ground. So, yeah, some of them, we are aware, are now here, but then that role will not really be deterrent compared to when they were actually here like weeks or months ago during the political campaigns. So in general sense, I think the constitutional commissions have also failed. And this also leads to another important question and lesson that would also lead us to the 2022 election, that you see, the IEBC itself does not seem to have the capacity to deal with the electoral malpractices during this period, because they do not have the capacity. They are not even able to follow up on the key things that are happening. And essentially, the constitutional commissions would have really helped in terms of deterring and complementing or providing support to the IEBC itself.
Thanks a lot. That is Yusuf Lule, the Director, Human Rights Agenda, just calling on everyone to have a level playing ground in this Msambweni by-election. Remember, the polling stations will be closed at around 5 p.m., ready for counting. That will be done at the Dr. Babla Diani Secondary School here in Ukunda. For now, it's back to you in studio.
All right, Chanji, thank you so much for that. Of course, all eyes are on the Msambweni by-election, Msambweni constituency by-election, as we await the results later in the day or tomorrow, perhaps. And that's where we end it for our viewers on KTN Home. We say thank you so much, as always, for